Greetings, citizens of the world. We are anonymous. There's been a lot in the news lately. From threats of war, to future space endeavors, to very different ends of the spectrum with vastly different consequences for humanity. While politicians bicker over power plays by opposing nations here on Earth, we continue to face many threats from beyond this world. The unfortunate truth is that while our generation may survive the next 100 years, it's only a matter of time till humanity as a whole faces catastrophe on a global scale. We occupy one tiny world, around a single star out of billions, in a single galaxy out of trillions in the observable universe. That alone shows how fragile our species really is. Thus we come to a realization, and an inevitability. Earth cannot remain our only home forever. Some of the voyagers we set forth to the farthest reaches of the galaxy will lose contact with us, and we'll never hear from them again in our lifetime. Nevertheless, our legacy will live on through them as they colonize new worlds across the stars. While we can ensure the survival of humanity through migration and colonization, we can also help ensure the survival of Earth through unification. As we unite to explore other worlds, we'll in turn find ourselves securing our own. Earth will always be our homeworld, and as such it will always hold a special place in our hearts. While we don't know what the future might hold, we do know one thing for certain. It will be much brighter with humanity united. If we continue on our current course, our mutual destruction is ensured. So some may ask why we continue to have wars and fight amongst ourselves. Humans are influenced by their cultures and many other factors growing up. From what their parents believed, to what school and religion teaches them. With that in mind, it's no wonder with over 270 religions, 196 countries, and with modern society being derived from thousands of different cultures, that people tend to bump heads on worldly views. Nonetheless, those differences are what makes humanity so unique. Rather than being used to divide us, they are precisely what should be bringing us together. From art, to food, and even technology, those differences in culture make humanity, and that's what should be celebrated. Every year we do share in a celebration. People from all over the world come together to celebrate the new year. We stand together and share in our cultures, and for one day we are united as a planet. Now we must channel that same energy and use it into coming together again. Not for personal gain, not for the promise of money or fame, but to embark in the greatest journey humanity has ever made. It took just 12 years to go from launching the first artificial satellite, to landing humans on the moon and returning them back to Earth safely. In the 43 years since Apollo 17, humanity has never gone back, nor accomplished a greater manned mission. Not for a lack of money, nor a lack of technology, but because priorities changed and collectively humanity no longer has the drive to venture beyond Earth. With that being said, the direction and future of humanity itself is on the line, and our priorities must be clear. Due to the theory of special relativity, interstellar travel is possible within our lifetime, and entirely doable with technology that on a much smaller scale already exists today. Therefore the choice is now entirely up to you. Will we unite as a species to ensure the survival of the human race and explore the unknown? Or will we continue to fight each other and play Russian roulette until all the chambers are loaded?
Russia's hacked into a lot of things. China's hacked into a lot of things. Russia even hacked into the Democratic National Committee. Maybe even some state election systems. So we've got to step up our game. Make sure we are well defended and able to take the fight to those who go after us. As president, I will make it clear that the United States will treat cyber attacks just like any other attack. We will be ready with serious political, economic, and military responses.
И люди не чувствуют опасности. Вот меня что беспокоит. Ну как мы не можем понять? Мы тащим мир вообще в совершенно новое измерение. Вот в чем проблема. Делают вид, что как будто ничего не происходит. Но я не знаю даже, как достучаться.
Extraordinary display of Russian military power just a few miles off the British coast. One Moscow newspaper called it an armada, and its chosen route straight down the English Channel is likely to have been chosen deliberately.
You differ with the current administration, with the Obama administration now, and having said you support a no-fly zone in Syria. If, say, you're president and that no-fly zone is in effect and a Russian jet flies into that no-fly zone and they refuse warnings to leave, do you give the order to shoot down a Russian jet?
Well, that's a hypothetical that I think there are many steps you have to go through and decisions you have to make before you ever get to that. And the Russians would be certainly warned. There's been military discussions now to, as they say, deconflict airspace. So I think it would be highly unlikely if this were done in the right way.
But ultimately, a no-fly zone is an anti-aircraft proposition.
It is.
You have talked about, and in the last debate and again today, that you would impose a no-fly zone to try to protect the people of Aleppo and to stop the killing there. President Obama has refused to do that because he fears it's going to draw us closer or deeper into the conflict. And General Joseph Dunford, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, says, you impose a no-fly zone, chances are you're going to get into a war, his words, with Syria and Russia.
I know you keep referring to Barack Obama all night here, but you in Syria talked about a no-fly zone, which the president certainly does not support, nor do I support, because A, it will cost an enormous sums of money. Second of all, it runs the risk of getting us sucked into perpetual warfare in that region.
Right now, Senator, for us to control all of the airspace in Syria would require us to go to war against Syria and Russia. That's a pretty fundamental decision that certainly I'm not going to make.
You claim to be leaders, yet you fail to lead when we need leaders the most. Globally, we are heading in some very dangerous directions. We are on courses that will lead to the senseless deaths of innocent people. Courses that could easily be altered towards peace. Deaths so simply avoided. You claim to be looking out for your citizens, yet you so readily send them off to war. Young men and women are sent to kill each other in the name of their countries. And for what? For vengeance. So you can have a moment of satisfaction before you come to your senses and realize how much you've lost in your bloodlust. We're all upset when something bad happens, especially when it's a pointless loss of life. However, that doesn't justify more senseless loss of life by our hands in response. All these pointless wars, so many lives lost over thousands of years, all over a sliver of a tiny blue dot. Do you even comprehend the magnitude of what you're doing? Humanity has the opportunity to expand well beyond the boundaries of this world. The universe is ever expanding, and its resources are vast. You can either see to it that we all die on this rock, or that we prosper as a species in this universe. The choice is yours. One thing is certain, if this pointless fighting doesn't stop, more innocent lives are inevitably going to be lost, and their deaths will be on your hands. You have a choice right now to really prove you're the leaders you claim to be. To put the citizens before your own comforts and desires. To promote the unity of our species rather than the division of our planet. These are your brothers and sisters. Do not condemn them to fight your battles and never forget them.